مرحبا شباب. هذه حصة لطلاب الصف العاشر. طلاب الصف العاشر حصة لغة إنجليزية من كتاب Student Book page 21. Student Book page 21. An article, a short article entitled مقال قصير بعنوان Emeralds in Egypt. Emeralds in Egypt. الزمرد في مصر قديما. Emeralds in Egypt. The first question we have to ask here is which two civilizations or which two nations or which two countries in past ages, which two countries, which two nations, which two civilizations, which two countries, which two nations, which two civilizations respected and greatly honored the emeralds in ancient times, in past ages. These two countries were Mexico and Peru. Mexico and Peru. These two countries are in South America. In South America, Mexico and Peru. And the capital of Mexico is the same city, Mexico. And the capital of Peru is a city called Lima. Lima, the capital of Peru. For these two countries considered emeralds the most valuable. يعني emeralds had received the greatest honor, the greatest respect, the greatest value. The two countries were Mexico and Peru. And exactly what were the names of the two nations? The names. In Mexico, the nation is called Aztecs. In Mexico, the nation is called Aztecs. And in Peru, the nation was called Incas. Incas. Names of nations in South America, but in past ages, يعني ancient times. يعني شعب الأزتكس وشعب الإنكاس. الإنكا. هذه طبعا شعوب في أمريكا الجنوبية كان للإميرالدز كل تقدير واحترام وكل قيمة. Which two countries? Mexico and Peru. And the names of nations, Incas in Peru and Aztecs in Mexico, were in South America. But these two countries or these two nations were living in past ages, in past times. Okay. What about the oldest emeralds? Where were the oldest emeralds found? Where? And which countries? Which country was the oldest emerald was found in? Which country? The answer is Egypt. Egypt. Egypt is the country where the oldest emeralds were found. Exactly, and where in Egypt, where exactly? The answer is near the Red Sea. Near the Red Sea. فأقدم الإميرالدز وجد في مصر، تحديدا في منطقة قرب البحر الأحمر. And what do you call the first man I mean, the first person in Egypt at that time, what is his nickname? The nickname of the first man in Egypt. The answer is his nickname was Pharaoh. Pharaoh. هذا لقب للأول الرجل الأول في مصر. Pharaoh فرعون. ففيرو is a nickname. هو لقب. Okay. Where were the emeralds exactly found? Where exactly? The answer is the emeralds were found in mines. In mines. And in Egypt, these mines were called Cleopatra's mines. Cleopatra's mines. هذا الزمرد كان موجودة في مناجم في مصر قديما. وكانت هذه المناجم تسمى مناجم كليوباترا. Cleopatra's mines. Do you know why? Why called Cleopatra's mines? The answer is because Cleopatra used to wear these stones. She used to wear these stones. فكان دائما الملكة كليوباترا, the queen of Egypt at that time, the queen of Egypt, ملكة مصر. Her name was Cleopatra. And the mines were known as Cleopatra's mines. والمناجم كانت تعرف بمناجم كليوباترا. فأني visitor who visited Egypt in ancient times, any visitor was presented emeralds. فأي زائر لمصر كان يهدى الزمرد. By whom? By the Queen Cleopatra. Okay. إذن Cleopatra presented the nobles who visited طبعا Egypt. She presented the nobles, I mean the noble visitors. What did she present them? ماذا كانت تقدم لهم وتهديهم؟ emeralds. A kind of deep respect. and honor. كونه عن احترام عميق وشرف. يعني تقدير to the noble visitors. And what about the ancient Egyptians? What did they use emeralds for? The ancient Egyptians. What did they use the emeralds for? For what? The answer is this of course depends upon their belief. What was the belief of the ancient Egypt about Egyptians? What was the belief of the ancient Egyptians about emeralds? شو كان اعتقاد المصريين القدماء بالنسبة للزمرد? What was their belief? Then the belief of the ancient Egyptians about emeralds. The answer is emeralds were used as a source of beauty. They were used as a source of beauty. كان مصدر جمال. That's right. On one hand. On the other hand, they were used to cure many diseases. وكانت تستخدم هذا اعتقاد المصريين القدامى لأنها تعالج أمراض كثيرة. قال الإمرالز تعالج أمراض كثيرة حسب رأي المصريين القدامى. وثانيا الإمرالز هو مصدر جمال. إذن the emeralds were used as a source of beauty and a source of treatment. This was the belief of the ancient Egyptians about emeralds. Their belief. Okay. Now, who else used the Egyptian Emirates. Who else? مين أيضا استخدم واستغل الزمرد المصري؟ Who else? The answer is two peoples. The Romans and the Turks. The Romans and the Turks. And as you know, the emerald, the color was lighter green. The color of the emeralds, this color was green but lighter green, يعني أخضر فاتح. And the two countries who came to Egypt and used the Egyptian emeralds were two nations, the Romans and the Turks. And these two nations used the Egyptian emeralds from the mines من المناجم استخدموها يعني استغلوها. And as you know, how long ago were Cleopatra's mines used? How long ago were Cleopatra's mines used? The answer is they were used for about 1500 years. 1500 years. إذن مناجم كليوباترا الزمرد استخدمت على مدار 1500 سنة. 1500 years, يعني 1500 years. So that in later times, there were no more emeralds left in Egypt. In later times, there were no more emeralds left in Egypt. Nothing. But the last question we have to ask is, where can you find most of the emeralds nowadays? Which country uses the emeralds? And the emeralds were found in this country. Which country? The majority and most of the emeralds. Where can it be found? The answer is, it is found in Colombia. In Colombia. And as you know, Colombia is another country in South America too. Colombia, a country in South America too. Then you see from the text here that إذا كما ترى من النص هنا, the first two countries which respected and valued emeralds were Mexico and Peru. And the names of the nations were the Aztecs in Mexico and the Incas in Peru. Okay. And the first man in Egypt in ancient times was nicknamed Pharaoh. And the mines of emeralds in Egypt were called Cleopatra's mines. Simply because Cleopatra used to wear these precious stones. And any noble visitor to Egypt at that time was presented emeralds. Next point, what about the ancient Egyptians? What did they say about emeralds? They say that the emeralds were used for beauty, to beautify women, to make women more beautiful. And secondly, it is used to cure many diseases for treatment. The point here is that the two countries who came to Egypt and used the emeralds were the Romans and the Turks. For how long? For 1500 years. So that no more emeralds were left in Egypt. إذا استغل الزمرد في مصر من قبل الرومان والأتراك لدرجة لم يعد هناك زمرد موجود في مصر. But the country nowadays, which has the most emeralds and which has the majority of emeralds, and which has the largest number of emeralds, this country was Colombia. What is Colombia? Colombia is a state in South America too. This is the end of our class today بعنوان Emeralds in Egypt. Thank you very much for listening, dear students, and see you next time, inshallah.